So I've been getting some feedback off of the X-Men Origins Wolverine review I did last week, and I've had some time to think about what I said. Time's passed to um, help me collect my thoughts and critique it a little more. Um, when I review a film, I try to show the positives that it did because I think there are so many naysayers out there that just nitpick the hell out of films and don't take the time to really say the good things that they did. And I try to say the good things. I don't like being a naysayer. I think that's what separates me from a lot of other reviewers. I try to stay as positive as possible. But if something's really bad, I'll say it. And that's what this video is about. I want to put out the things that kind of bothered me with Wolverine. Um, this will contain spoilers, so if you still haven't seen the film, please turn away. You know, Wolverine was an enjoyable movie. The last review I kept saying how great of a movie it was, how good of a movie it was, and I said it was on par with X2. Now, I still stand by that statement. I do, because X2 was an enjoyable ride. It was a thrill ride. Now, as far as characterization and story, depth and theme, X2 is superior. I said it's on par to, like, approaching. Now, as far as an enjoyable film experience, I have to say that this film is more approaching X2 because X3 was just so bad. I mean, everything felt rushed. The character development, I think, was even poorer than Wolverine. I'm not saying that the character development of Wolverine was good. I mean, there were places where they could have done a lot better. But and X1 is a great film, but I think sometimes is a little bit too dramatic and that it kind of slows down the pace of the film. But it reignited the superhero genre, so it did do some good things. But as far as an enjoyable ride for a film goer, I think X-Men Origins Wolverine is about X2 as far as enjoying the film. But the things that bothered me with Wolverine, I understand that Wolverine has indestructible claws. That makes sense. I accept that. But here's a major spoiler. He's fighting Deadpool, and Deadpool's shooting Cyclops energy blasts right at him, and he blocks it with his claws. What the hell? Okay? I don't care if they're adamantium. They're not going to protect you like a shield. Okay? They're claws. You use them to stab things with, not to block your body, not to block your head. That part just... Suspension of disbelief can only take you so far, even for a nerd like me. That part bothered me. Not to the point where I lost interest and wanted to walk out of the theater. Not that bad. But still, that was stupid. And while we're on stupid, adamantium bullets? Adamantium is indestructible. It cannot be broken. So an adamantium bullet is supposed to penetrate an adamantium skull? Okay. I guess the logic behind this is with diamonds, and that the only thing hard enough to penetrate a diamond is a diamond itself. Now, going by that logic, that makes sense, but come on! That is so stupid. And the line, his brain will grow back, but his memories won't. I mean, that's like going back to the Superman kiss from Superman 2, Richard Lester and his genius thinking. Superman kisses Lois Lane, and suddenly her memories are wiped clean. As soon as I saw that in theaters with the adamantium bullet, that's the first thing that popped in my head was that Superman kiss. It's like the bullet found the exact same spot in Wolverine's brain that Superman's tongue found in Lois Lane's brain, and somehow they both managed to suck the memory right out of their brains. Okay, I'm getting a little too serious, but come on, that was stupid. That really was stupid. I think a major problem with Wolverine was that everyone knows what to expect. We've seen this character before 3 times, and most of us know Wolverine on some level, and we understand that a major part of his character is that he doesn't remember who he is, and he doesn't remember things. So we are waiting throughout the entire film on what's going to wipe his memory. So I think the writers kind of dug themselves into a trap with that, and that they couldn't find something climactic enough to satisfy the audience's expectations because we already knew what was going to happen. And it's sad, but it's understandable. You have to think like that. characters could have been used in Wolverine more. Uh, I said that some characters were in it enough, and yeah, I think characters were in it enough to please fans to a degree, but I mean, it wasn't as bad as X3. I mean, I think Gambit had more time than Beast, maybe not much more, but at least just as much. And Beast had, again, just as much time in X3. But when you're dealing with characters that have that huge fan followings, I think they need to be a bigger part of the story than just that much of the whole story. Now, it's Hugh Jackman's movie. That's clear. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. We get that. But it's Wolverine's origins, so I want to see more characters besides just the main guy. I want to see more supporting characters. It felt like everyone was a minor character, and Wolverine was the main character. It didn't feel like there were many supporting characters as far as on-screen time. Gambit was on it just enough for me, and that's it, just enough. I wanted to see more, and I still want to see more. I'd like to see a Gambit spinoff. That'd be cool. I'm excited that there's a Deadpool spinoff. I would have liked to have seen more Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I thought he was great as Wade Wilson. Now, I've heard people complain about him as the disfigured Weapon 11, and to be perfectly honest, I haven't read many Deadpool comics at all. I'm not too familiar with the character, so that didn't really faze me. But the nickname the Merc with the Mouth, and then seeing him with a mouth shut and fighting Wolverine, I understand he's been experimented on and everything, but it just felt kind of not very climactic. Maybe if it was like a disfigured Wade Wilson who still had his mouth and was somehow being controlled, his mind was being controlled and he was being forced to fight, maybe that would have worked. I think maybe that would have been cooler. You know, Fox can only do so much with X-Men. Marvel Studios is the right people to go to if you want a really well done superhero film. Fox, I think, basically focuses on just what turns a profit and not focus so much on making a great movie. But I think when you want a good action movie, good comic action movie, you go to Marvel films more of the time. But if you want a more adult-themed, psychologically, morally filled movie, you go to DC movies more, like Watchmen and The Dark Knight. But Marvel does have its hits. I'm not saying it doesn't, but people are just bashing the hell out of Wolverine, and I think what people are forgetting is that there's a genre. It's a superhero genre. It's a comic book genre where you have the masterpiece, moral-filled, psychological, enriched movies like The Dark Knight, down to the god-awful, two-dimensional movies like Catwoman. And Wolverine, I think, it's not horrible. It has enough substance to it, enough character development to be above the formula of just being a standard comic book movie just for kids and just for laughs. It's above that, I think, but it's not at par with other serious, really well done superhero films like The Dark Knight or Superman the movie, classic films. But you need to have that kind of variety. Every movie can't be a home run. And I understand these characters mean a lot to people. Wolverine is a beloved character. I understand that. He means something to me too. But you can't hit a home run every time. It's a genre. You're going to have different movies falling in different parts of the genre. That's what having a genre is all about. It's about variety. So I think Wolverine is a nice superhero movie added to the genre. It could have been better. Indeed, could have been better. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible, despite what some people say. I still think that they should make an X-Men Origins Magneto. Now, I actually am afraid to see 20th Century Fox make this because they've shown that they are just about incapable of taking the X-Men characters and making them very psychologically and morally ambiguous. And creating serious movies like DC can. The characters can. You can make movies like that with the characters. There's enough substance there, but 20th Century Fox really just, I don't know if they're not interested in it or not, or if they're just more focused on the effects. And you know what? That's another thing. The effects didn't bother me. The CGI, certain parts were kind of bad, but you know what? If you're spending your time looking at the CGI and not the movie itself, then you're not enjoying the movie. You're just looking to nitpick. But anyway, back to point. I'm afraid to see 20th Century Fox work on a Wolverine Magneto movie, because that's a movie that needs to have a serious tone to it. And I don't think 20th Century Fox can deliver. Now, with a Deadpool movie, on the other hand, that's a natural fit. It can be as sarcastic and sly as it can be. I know enough about the character to know that he works best when he's just simple and action-packed. That's all the time I have for now. Keep sending your comments. I'm Silver Lightsaber. Thank you for watching.